Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. This is Adele Bernard from Transition Clarity, and welcome to the Authentic Podcast. We will be having our guest today, and her name is Becca Shaw. She is a guide to all things spiritual. She creates a safe, supportive environment for healing journeys through her work as an Akashic Record coach, various divinations, and holistic healing modalities. She also does readings in human design and the astrological chart. So she is happy to have anyone reach out to her. And if you have questions or queries at any time, a little bit about this podcast and myself. At Transition Clarity, we primarily work with the men to help them understand who they are by helping them see their authentic gifts and to shine in the world like only they can. We always have new 8-week classes starting for the men, and it's about that inner journey, the self discovery of who they truly are. If you want to know more, please give me a call at authentic or at Transition Clarity, and we would love to have a chat. We also would love you to subscribe to this channel because this is how we get the algorithms to like us, see the feed, and we want to know who you are. Are you liking the show? Are you not liking the show? So let us know who you are. And now on to the show. Hello, hello, Becca. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So let's get back. So in the pre-show, I said, like you do your charts and stuff, and you're open for anyone getting hold of you. And I will put everything in the show notes. So don't worry if you are trying to figure out who she is. It'll all be in the show notes. So check that out. So give us a little background on how you became to do what you're doing and the holistic practices that you do and the readings that you share.
Yeah, well, it's kind of been, I say lifelong, but I guess it's like a soul thing throughout many lives. I've always been into all of this. I was a very magical child. I was very imaginative. I loved nature and looking at the stars and looking into ancient history and mythologies and stories and things. And at a very young age, my mum introduced me to massage, and then that kept snowballing. So I learned like little bits and pieces from people and books, and I did aromatherapy and then reflexology, and just kept developing and developing. And within all of that, I was then into tarot cards and oracle cards and pendulums and all of that kind of fortune telling, for want of a better word, kind of aspects of it all. And I don't stop learning. I just want to keep learning all the time. That's my thing, and I'm still learning to this day. I'm still getting new things and adding to my toolbox of weird and wonderful, healing, magical things. So that's in a nutshell everything that I do and how I got into it.
So, do you think part of that, like obviously your mom was a huge advocate, but part of that is growing up in that magical land of England with all the
Yes.
shrubberies and all the gnomes and like, because yeah, I have very deep fond memories of coming into England and spending time with my grandparents. And so, do you think like it's more natural over there than it is?
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I'm in Canada right now, and the energy is definitely different. Growing up in England, we have all these ley lines and these magical places, and even modern day cities and stuff, there's like this undercurrent of energy and ancientness, and we don't knock down our older buildings. Like I find in Canada, there's like plaques saying here 50 years ago was this, and it's like, well, why is it not here anymore? Like we have
Yeah.
things that are hundreds and thousands of years old in England just standing around, and we'll have like a modern skyscraper, but inside is like this wall or this tower or something that's a couple of thousand years old, right? And so it's very entwined. Um, and the veil is really thin there. And I say that like everyone, whether they realize it or not, there's like these sort of places where you can feel a different place within that place. So, most people will go to a place like Stonehenge and a place like that, and they feel that there's like some kind of energy there. But then there's also like the mists on the moors and stuff, and there's all these stories of people that disappeared and came back like 100 years later and stuff like that. And it's very, very we have all of these mythology stories and things of places that disappeared or they used to be there and now they're beyond the veil. So like Avalon and places like that are still there. They're still existing, but they're on another plane of existence. And I just find that in England it's very, very much, or not just England, like the whole of like Britain, the UK, all of that, like I say, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, they all have this deep reverence and deep connection with their ancient roots. And anybody feels that, even if you're atheist that just lives out their 9 to 5, sometimes I've experienced it with somebody like that, and we've walked down somewhere and they've gone, oh, something's here, something's different, something's, I can feel something, but I don't understand it. Right? So there's a lot of that energy, and it's also condensed in England, and because it's a smaller place, it's
Hmm.
it's like this very sacred land.
Yes. Well, and I just remember it as this magical fairyland,
Yes.
and I was very blessed to have the grandfather I had because he would take the time. Like my grandma, like this is a story I always use because my grandma would say like she needs milk from the store, and they lived maybe 10-15 minute walk from the town, and she'd give us 4 hours to get the milk. Because she
Yeah.
knew we were looking at every bird, talking to all the trees and hugging the trees. And it was just like, well, what else would you do? Like,
Yeah.
right? Because you're in this little fairyland, and even where they used to live is actually built up a lot now, but it's like, whatever. It's still fairyland.
Absolutely.
Yet, when I went into London the few times, I could not handle it.
Yeah.
The energy was bombarding. Um, like, yes, we did fun things and it was great in other ways, but energetically, I was done for 2 days after.
Yeah.
And
Well,
everyone's like,
because
what's
you've got,
wrong? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, London is a very, very sacred ancient site, and it's got lots and lots of, for want of a better word, magic within that. And then you add to that one of the biggest cities, like modern cities in the world, kind of thing, and that hustle and bustle of the grind and the 9 to 5 and all that stress on top of an
And the
energy center
squeaky and the squeaky cabs.
that just want to like run you over.
Well, no, their brakes all squeak. And I'm like,
Yeah.
fix your brakes. But, you know, whatever. I was a kid. And then you talked about Stonehenge, which is a beautiful metaphor because when I was there, we could go and touch the rocks. We could go and
Mhm.
be in the rocks, right? And now you can't get within a mile of it, kind of thing.
No. Yeah.
And unless you're a special group.
Yes.
Um, but then you think of Avalon, and there's people that say, we see it all the time,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
that just makes this energy work even more interesting. And you also taught me that you know cards, and I'm like, more to talk about with you.
Yeah. Ta-da.
Right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so what made you to branch out more to the astrology readings than the human design readings?
So the astrology was always one of those first things that I learned. So
Hmm.
I've sort of known bits and pieces since I was small, right? Since I
Hmm.
was like 7 or 8 or whatever, but I never truly learned it, right? Like I never really properly sat down with it. I just knew snippets. So earlier this year, 20th of March 2025, I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And that's the day that I started. So on the astrological new year. And yeah, and I just decided that's what I was going to
Hmm.
really delve into and qualify in. And it's been fantastic and I love it. With the human design, I only actually heard of it maybe 2, 3 years ago, and I thought, oh, I'm not interested in that. And I left it. I didn't really know much about it. And then this year, I'm gonna say like summer this year, it came up a little bit. And I was like, yeah, that thing. But no, it's still not for me. And as I'm sure you and your listeners know, like the universe starts to and this and this and this all the time. And it's like, well, something's here, right? Something's trying to tell me something. And so I looked into it a little bit and I was like, oh, there's some astrology in that. So I thought, oh, I'll just learn that at the same time because it would just be a crossover. No, it's very complicated. There's astrology in it, but at no point am I like, oh yeah, well, I know this part because of the astrology. Not
Yeah.
at all. But yeah, so then and then I thought, well, I won't take it on this year. I'll wait till next year. I'll finish off the astrology and I'll do the human design next year. Decided to do that, released that, and was
Hmm.
like, I'll do it next year. And then I got a call from a friend saying, you have to do this course that I'm doing. And I was like, no, no. And she's like, yes, it started last week. You can catch up though. Like, let's go. And so I ended up doing that and taking on way too much.
Hmm.
But that's my manifesting generator, apparently. I've discovered that I take on way too much, but in a good way. And yeah, so that's why I'm doing those currently this year. I just kind of fell into one and decided to properly learn the other one
Yeah.
all at the same time.
Well, and so for the listeners who don't understand, human design and the gene keys are basically astrology, Eastern and Western,
Hmm.
the the um the chakras,
Yeah.
the it's on the tip of my head. What's the
The I
six?
Ching.
Oh yeah, the I Ching. So well, so basically it brings in all the philosophies
Yeah.
into one,
Yeah. And then it
right?
mixes it with modern day sort of quantum entanglements and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And
Right?
yeah,
And so
eugenics.
and yeah, and
Like,
so well, and you talk about the epigenetics of it. So I'm part of a program out of Australia that brings in your food
yeah,
and the epigenetics of why you eat food, when you eat the food, blah 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 blah. You can follow it to your human design.
yeah,
I haven't gotten into it because I went, that was just like, whoa, that's too much in my head, right?
yeah,
Um, because like the Pam Gregory's of the world that talk about the astrology. I mean, she's been doing it 50 years
yeah,
and she's still going, I didn't know that, right?
yeah.
And you
But
and
there's
you
so
know
much.
people doing the human design, they have a doctorate in it. They didn't know that, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, and so basically what I want the audience to understand, all of these things is just a blueprint of lifelong study of who you are.
yes, yeah. And if you can understand yourself and your blueprint and where where to tap in to for your guidance or
Hmm.
what your purpose is, what your how you like to absorb information, how you like to like whether you like pressure or whether you need stuff like to
Hmm.
ease you in, like just aligning yourself with that naturally just makes everything so much easier and everything starts coming to you a lot quicker because there's no barriers. You're not. self-imposing any limitations and stuff on
Yep.
yourself, and you're not allowing others to do that to you as well. Like you're not, so many people, they think, well, what does society want me to do? And what am I meant to be doing because parents tell me, or teachers told me, or, society in general. And sometimes you just need to step back and say, no, what is for me? Like, what do I need
Hmm.
and how do I do it? And even if that's unconventional, it doesn't matter because that is what lights you up and that is your path. And it can be totally weird to people and it shouldn't matter because living your best life is following your inner guidance and your blueprint.
Well, and this is perfect timing because I was just blessed with an astrology reading before we started taping this podcast, and I used to be so hard on myself by I have high standards, and you're like, and here's your high standards in your chart, and I'm like, that's a real thing. Cool, I'm keeping my high standards, and then you're talking about um, the fairness and the mediator, and people are going to like you or not like you, and you're fine with either way. And I
Yeah,
and I was saying, like, so in my men's groups, it's like you don't fit or you fit.
yeah,
Like it's just fair. I'm it's not a judgment on anybody. It's just where are you aligned at this specific time in life? I can't
yeah,
change that for anybody. All I can do is go with what my chart is saying as a leader of these groups. This is for you, this is not for you. And if I want to what get one message out to people, honor your inner knowing,
yes,
right? Like if your inner knowing is like, I'm going to be an astronaut, go for it.
yeah,
But if you start getting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, pay attention.
yeah. And why is that not aligning? Is it just that you're not approaching it properly? Because maybe you are meant to be an astronaut, you're just not going about it the right way.
Mhm.
Right. So that's also the thing. Like you're just taking the wrong paths to get you there, or you're trying to force it. You're trying to control it too
Yeah.
much and you're not like allowing the energy to flow and guide you. You're
Yeah.
trying to literally like box yourself in and this is the way that I have to become an astronaut. Well, no, it's not like which is the way that you are meant to become one.
Well, and
Yeah.
it's also bringing it back to um we all have our path. That doesn't mean it's all easy,
No. And it's
right?
not meant to be.
And we will have those speed bumps or molehills, but it doesn't always have to be a mountain.
No.
And if you're hitting up mountains all the time and you're like, I can't find a way around it or I can't find a way over it, that's when you kind of come back into your heart and say, well, this is really me. Is this what
Yeah.
I'm really supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
So how
Absolutely.
how do you find using these extra tools um, help assist your clients?
So right now, the astrology and the human design, I'm just literally at the end of my case studies. So I haven't actually done clients. So I can just talk on how that's helped my case studies, which so far has been amazing. Like I've helped people that I have no idea who they were before doing it. And I've had people just say, oh my gosh, I feel like you were like a friend that was with me throughout the good times, the bad times with my relationship, because you're literally talking about my relationship with this other person. And yeah, and so that's been really, really good. And my reason for doing them now and how I'm going to incorporate them is through coaching. So I'm going to have them as the blueprint and the foundation of somebody's coaching. So like life coaching, but on a more so spiritual way of doing it. So I'm going to incorporate Akashic records and Reiki and tarot cards and all of that into this whole coaching program. So the astrology and the human design are actually going to help people understand themselves and how to check in with themselves, what their inner guidance is, what their life mission is,
Mm-hmm.
the answer to their problems, And through those and some other modalities, we're going to really get deep and heal and give them back the empowerment that they need to be able to step out of their comfort zone or to actually go for the thing that they want or heal the issues that they're coming to me for counseling or coaching or whatever with. So,
Well, and I like that because um, with my coaching clients, it's like, what are we working on today? And they'll say, well, X, Y, or Z. And then I go into the toolbox,
yeah,
right? Because it's not one size fits all. We're ever flowing. We're like, we are the river,
yeah.
right?
And even for just the same client, like you could have them and then you don't see them for 10 years. You can't
Go back.
have and do the things that worked for them 10 years ago necessarily, because hopefully they've grown in that time. And now
Hmm.
you're going to have to treat them like a brand new client again because they've had their life
Hmm.
experiences within that time and they've grown. And so they're going to need different kind of help from you now.
Hmm. Well, and I find that in the men's groups week to week. Who they were like the first week to who they are the fourth week, you're like, oh, you've been doing some shifting. Awesome. You're doing your
Yes.
work, right? And I also want to stress that for anyone who's thinking of hiring either of us or been on different calls with different people, if you're not doing your work, we only can do so much,
Yeah.
right? If you choose to
Yeah.
stay stuck and not do the homework, we can't help
Yeah.
you.
Absolutely. You can have the best healer or coach or whatever in the world.
Hmm.
If you don't have that smallest amount of want to get better or want to improve, it's not going to work for you.
Hmm.
Likewise, if you have zero support from anybody, like professional or family or
Hmm.
friends or anybody, but you have a huge mindset and drive to get better, to heal, to do this thing, then you're going to do it, right? It's all about the power within yourself
Hmm.
to do it. Like as coaches and healers and things, we don't do the work.
Hmm.
Like we can't. We can tell you the tools, we can help guide you a little bit, but at the end of the day, it has to be the person that does it, or it's not going to do anything.
Well, and that even comes down to body work, right? Like a massage therapist, whatever, because you might say, well, I want to work on this, and it's like, okay. But if they're in tuned, if they're on the holistic side of things, they'll say, well, your body's actually saying this. And I go, okay.
Yeah,
Because what my brain thinks we're working on doesn't mean that's what my body's saying, please fix,
yeah, yeah.
you
And
know?
sometimes the physical or whatever is not actually the root cause anyway.
Hmm.
It's a side effect, right? So you have to you can keep, working on the shoulder pain, but if you're not actually confronting what's stressing you out and making you all hunched up and storing all that energy in there, then guess what? You're
Yeah.
going to have a massage every week to sort out your shoulders. But the moment that you can go deep and find out what it is and put up your boundaries or heal from that or, release the traumas or whatever around that, your shoulders aren't going to get any better, no matter
No.
how many massages you have, right?
Because
Because, yeah.
well, just on an energetic level, shoulders are always about carrying the weight of the world,
Yes.
feminine or masculine, right? So if you want to
Yeah.
keep carrying the weight of the world, you're wasting your time going to the massage therapist,
Yeah.
right? Because they're
Yeah.
going to say, okay, well, I'll take it off for day today, and we'll see you next week because you're going to have it again.
Oh. Which is great for the massage therapist because they're getting all that money,
Yeah.
but not good for the client because they're not going to heal from that.
Well, and it's interesting you said that because I feel we have shifted
Hmm.
since we've come into the new world of Aquarius,
Yeah.
right? Which we've never done before. We're newborns in this new world. Um, we have to think about doing things differently.
Yeah.
The old ways aren't working,
Not at
right?
all.
And how do we shift the way we express to the clients, express the work that we do with our clients, that they understand it in a new dimension? And that's where I think, like, whether it's human design, astrology, Akashic records, is it's just a tool.
Yeah.
It's not to go, this is the end all be all,
No.
right? You still have to take it, let your body digest what you've heard or what you've learned yourself or whatever, and say, so how do I take this new information in this body to carry it forward?
Yeah. Yeah, like you with anything, like with tarot cards, with astrology, whatever, if you've
Mm-hmm.
got someone telling you, oh, this is just the way you are, and you're stuck with this negative aspect,
Mm-hmm.
then they've not done their job, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can say, you have this that's hindering you. This is how you get over that, or this is how you get around it. This is how you recognize it before it comes severe. Like you say, oh, I'm feeling really down. Oh, that's my Saturn in, this sign or whatever. And so you recognize it immediately and you say, okay, it's just that energy. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that self-belief stuff that's bringing up some old lessons that I haven't healed from yet, which
Yeah.
I'm working on. But for now, thank you, Saturn. You can go sit in your corner
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna go ahead and do this, right? Like rather than just, oh well, it's my Saturn and I'm predestined to not ever be able to do this thing, so I'll just sit in my corner and feel sorry for myself. No,
Yeah.
Saturn's not there to be spiteful. Saturn's there to say, hey, this is your problem and recognize it and learn from it and go about it a different way perhaps. But this is trying to tell you something and trying to help you through navigating your life, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and
Yeah.
it's funny because do you like, as a teenager when I kind of got into, I'd say fake astrology, it was like reading it in the paper. Read
Yeah.
your sign for today. And I'd be like, oh, that's funny. And then the same thing kept on popping up every once in a while. And I'm like, what's this Mercury retrograde thing? Then I started reading up what's that mean. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my life blows up 3 times a year. Right? So now I understand instead of it blowing up 3 times a year, oh, come on, Mercury retrograde. I know who you are. I know where you are in my chart, and I use it to my benefit. Oh, I'm going to
Good.
be extra cautious with this. I'm going to be extra, you know, understanding,
Yeah. See,
right?
I used to
Because,
do classes for that, right? Because so many people are so scared or so just, oh, it's Mercury in retrograde. It's like, but you don't know what you don't know what that means, right? So
mhm.
I'm trying to teach people that it's not a bad thing. It's a downtime thing. It's a gift, right? It's like depending what sign it's in as well, will tell you what you're going to have issues with or what it's going to highlight for those
Oh, you
weeks,
just took it a step further right with that sentence. I didn't even add
right?
the sign. I just go, it's Mercury retrograde.
Yeah. So next time there's Mercury
Pull
retrograde, see
back.
what sign it's in. And so, and then what kind of part of your life then is going to be the problem? Like what
Like
kind of
so
things are going to show
Mercury
up?
so what you're saying Mercury retrograde in Cancer is going to mean something different than Mercury retrograde say in Capricorn.
Yes. So like Cancer is emotions, right? So maybe you just get super emotional. Maybe it's a lot of stuff with your relationships, like all your relationships or your partner or your neighbor or your family. That's going to be so your communication perhaps or is going to be really emotional and people are going to say stuff that they didn't want to say because Mercury is all about communication and you've got Cancer which is overly emotional and so that Mercury retrograde could be to do with your relationships and the emotions that are overflowing with that and not in a good way. But whereas Capricorn, that's more sort of like maybe your business or your
Mm.
like, your goals and things like that. So sort of more serious kind of stuff. And so
Check
then
your cash flow.
yeah. So then your Mercury in like retrograde motion in Capricorn would be maybe more about your business or more about your cash flow or
Yeah.
something like that, right? So then when you can see what's coming up, because then you're like, it's not like a surprise, like surprise, Mercury's retrograde motion right now, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like you can see hundreds of years ahead if you want. So you can see when things are coming up. So you can say, oh, probably not best to like buy that house on that one, or you know what, it's not actually affecting house buying or anything to do with houses, so I can actually buy a house during that Mercury retrograde,
Yeah.
right? Like, so it doesn't need to be the scary thing. It because
But it's
you're learning from it.
awareness.
It's teaching you, and it's teaching you to take a breath and to take some downtime and to look over that contract that you've been sent. Maybe don't sign it while Mercury is retrograde motion because it wants you to like really read it and read the fine print. And oh look, you read the fine print, which you wouldn't have done if you didn't take
Yeah.
the few moments to not do it. And oh no, you don't agree with that fine print, so no, no deal, kind of thing, right? So it's
Well,
bringing you
and
an awareness.
I also want to bring in the fact of like, okay, so Mercury in Cancer is you. They're all
Hmm.
emotional. We're not signing the contract. I can't do this. Like, can't do it. Then you have someone who is Mercury in their Cancer, and they're going, "But it's the best deal. We're gonna make the best money." Like, what's with the emotion,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, it
But
also
it's working
depends.
together in that partnership of understanding each other. And just because it might
Mhm.
be a full on go for one and the other one's like pulling back a bit, doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's just like, let's look at it. Why is it a full on for you? Why is it, not so good for you? Right? Like, and it all comes down to the communication, which Mercury is about communication, right?
Yeah,
But it could be regarding anything, right? Should we put the kid in soccer? I don't know. Hockey might be better. Well,
yeah,
what's the time commitment with both? Who's gonna do most of the hauling back and forth? Like, is little Johnny got friends more in soccer than hockey? Well, maybe he wants to go with his friends and yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
And just just as we're still finishing off 2025, if you're listening to this then, 2025 was the shake-up year.
Oh, yes.
It had more planets aligned in retrograde than any other time. We like I said before, we moved from the Piscean age into the Aquarian age. We've never done that as a human species before because we don't live 26,000 years. Um, but yet, if you're here and you're listening to this, you were chosen to be here on
Yeah,
this earth for this transformation.
yeah,
And so the biggest thing is both of us are here to say we're here to assist in any way we can because we know it's trying. We're living it too,
yeah,
and so together we will all make it through.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Everybody here right now, whether they realize or not, they were meant to be here for the transition for sure. And they've all got their parts to play, whether it's on a conscious level and unconscious level. Like there are people that literally will not be conscious of it the whole time, but like they're literally getting sort of stuff running through them or just them being in a certain place at a certain time is actually helping some way or someone else. And yeah, it's really, really fascinating, especially when I go there with clients and stuff and we really discover what some of the clients' missions are right now. And it's like, they're like, but I'm just a normal person. I'm like, but you're not. You're
You're not.
special. But it's like, but it's not just them, right? They're not like the one. They're not like Jesus reborn or something. They're part of this collective that all has their own roles to play in it. But it just sounds so grand, like you were chosen to do this thing and that. That's so much pressure, so
Well,
much. I don't know.
it was since I was working with a client the other day who has had a stroke, right? And I was looking at my phone for something, and she says, "What's that box telling you?" And I said, "It tells me that I want to keep up with what you're telling me in geography."
Yeah,
And she looks at me and she goes, "What does that mean?" I said, "I'm really bad at geography, so I'm looking up maps." And I showed her that I'm looking at maps, right?
yeah,
Well, that won't tell you where I lived. I go, "It might." And so she tells me where she lived, right? And then
mhm,
we get this town, and Wikipedia brought up all these pictures, and she was like, "Oh, I used to walk here, and we go there." And she just was this totally different person. And I was
yeah,
like, "See, my little box is smart,
yeah.
right?" But then and so like she was the first person that kind of gave my heart that you want to see this person every week. And
Hmm.
I went, I do? Like I questioned it. I'm like, and now, yeah, so now I see her every week and I'm like, it's really cool.
Yeah,
Because she questioned why I wasn't paying attention to her,
good.
right? And I like I said, I'm really paying attention, but I'm so bad at geography. I need my little box to keep up with what you're explaining,
Yeah,
right? Because I don't want to go home and try to figure out what the conversation was. I want to be present in the conversation with my little tool,
yeah,
and we can do it together, you know.
yeah,
And then we had a whole different conversation because
yeah,
my little box showed me where she lived, where she raised her children, right? And I was
yeah.
like, this is so cool.
Yeah. See, everyone sort of like says, oh, technology is terrible, but sometimes it can, I mean, I'm terrible with technology, but like it can be a really helpful tool. And like you said, it can literally change a client from like, just giving you the bare minimum to actually connecting and
Mhm.
trusting you and developing that relationship. And so, yeah, and that you wouldn't have had that if you hadn't had your little box, right?
Well, I know, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's even if I, like how if we're doing a human design reading, and it's like they have a question about whatever gate, and you're like, one moment. I would rather you say one moment, go look it up,
Yeah.
than to think, well, I think this, I'm just going to tell them this.
Right. It's kind of connected to this center, so I guess it's to do with that.
Yeah.
And it's really
And I
not,
and
right?
I would rather you go and find out what you're actually saying and then I go, well, that makes sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because that means even though you have a paying client in front of you or a client, whatever, in front of you, you're still willing to learn.
Yeah.
And I think that's our biggest gift in this life is that every moment of every day is a learning,
Yes.
right? Do we step into the conversation? Do we just watch the conversation?
Yeah.
Do we agree with what's being said? Do we have our opinions and we're keeping our mouth shut? Like,
Yeah.
right?
And then what did you learn from it? Like if it was the wrong route, like
Yeah.
why was it the wrong route? Do you know how to course correct next time something like that similar happens? And if it was a really negative experience, well, did that teach you boundaries? Did that teach
Mhm.
you that you need to heal a certain aspect of yourself? It's all everything's learning. If you can just like tap into yourself or the world around you,
Mhm.
that's the whole point we're here, right? Is to keep learning and to expand and
Mhm.
to understand ourselves and the universe and wisdom and just advance, get more. And that's how we also get more deeper into the Age of Aquarius stuff, is when we all do
Well,
that inner work and that outer work and that learning process.
but if you look at the age of Aquarius, the fundamental bottom line is love,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
There is no dogma. There is no right and wrong. There is no man, woman, whatever. It's just we're all love,
yeah,
right? And I always say the 60s without all the psychedelics.
yeah. Because you're in a natural psychedelic.
Yeah, right? And
Yeah,
and and it's interesting because I've been brought into many conversations of good psychedelic, bad psychedelic, right? And my philosophy, and this is only my philosophy, if they are charging, they're not true shamans.
hmm,
A true shaman is provided by the creator. The creator doesn't need money.
hmm,
They
yeah,
trust it's granted, right? And and I've kind of been switching to that philosophy in my own business is if someone like absolutely cannot afford a dollar, it's my choice to keep working.
Yeah.
because I know people have stepped up for me without me asking,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm like the shaman way.
Exactly. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's meant to be more of an energy exchange. It's just easier in this day and age to be monetary
Hmm.
because that's how the world works
Well, I
the
know, but
majority of the
like,
time,
but
right?
the
So,
thing is, and someone taught me this recently. You do your suggested price, say $100, your suggested
mm,
price. Someone might say $1,000, and someone might give you $5.
yeah,
In the wash, you get your $100 from everybody. But
yeah,
the person who's paying the $1,000 knows they're in a position that can gift other people.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's just, yeah, like I love the unity of it. I love the just share your blessings, because
yeah,
as you share, more will be given, right? And
yeah,
my whole stance is I'm just here to be the lighthouse.
yeah,
Whether you want to hit the rocks that the lighthouse is saying are there, that's up to you. You can keep hitting them, or you can come, see that the light is being shown around the rocks, and carry on your way.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. When I first heard that with you, like months ago, I thought that's such a good idea. Like that's such a clear way for people to understand that as well, that you're
Mhm.
not just going to come in and tell them, this, and this, and this. You're like literally just shining a light on everything, and then it's up to them. Like it's
Mhm.
that whole empowerment piece, right? Like, okay, free will, and how do you want to proceed? I'm showing you and
Mhm.
giving you the tools and showing you what you could do with this. At the
Mhm.
end of the day, it's the client that truly does the transformation. It's nothing to
Well,
do with us.
and you in the pre-show we talked about that about um, I work with men. You can't tell them what they have to do.
Hmm.
Nope, you can't. And
Yeah,
as soon as wives and girlfriends figure this out, they'll have a better relationship,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because and then it's even with some clients I've even said, well, book an appointment with your husband. I'm not booking an appointment. Okay, well then get divorced. They're
yeah,
like, what are you talking about? And I said, they're single focused. If they're doing the books or they're working on the car whatever, and you just go blah, 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 as they walk by, well, first of all, have they even acknowledged that you walked by? Second of all, they know they didn't hear what you said,
yeah,
right? And so book an appointment. Hey, can I get 20 minutes of your time sometime today? Sure. You get the 20 minutes. He knows that the car needs to go in. Johnny needs to be picked. Done.
yeah,
20 minutes, half an hour a week.
yeah,
Dedicated time to go through the laundry list. And then you don't have to put the honey-do list on the fridge.
yeah. Like that's, well, I mean, but it would be so much more simple if people could understand um just the differences, right? Like, the black and white thing of like literally man and woman, right? But like we were talking about the human design and stuff, just those, like if you just know your human design and your partner's human design, well, maybe your partner isn't ignoring you. They just take a little bit longer to process than you do because you're an instant and the other one needs like 5 minutes or something or longer to process it properly. So meanwhile, you're getting frustrated because they're not answering you and you're like, answer me. And then they put up their boundaries and yeah.
But
And it's,
it,
but if you just know the simple mechanics of each other, then it's just that harmony, right? Like
mhm,
especially like again going back to the basics. If you go to the masculine qualities and what they are, and the feminine qualities and what they are, and they actually really, really gel together. That the union and the harmony, right,
mhm.
is beautiful when it's together. It's this power couple, right? It's this
Well,
beautiful thing because they help each other and they know when to stand back and they know when to go in and help because it's like it's not just going in and helping, it's like going in with the way that that other person needs that energy to go in, right? And it's fascinating and it's simple, but we're so detached from it. We're taught so different from that, and so we think like, well, why isn't he reading my mind? Like, you should know this. It's like, and he said he's focused on something else. Like women have a billion things in their head constantly, and men they don't.
Hmm.
Like the completely different way that we're set up and that we interact with the world, and we just can't assume that the other one's going to know how wanting them to
And
react.
and we're not saying men can't do five things at once, and we're not saying women always can. It's
Yeah,
just in general, but
yeah,
it's also having the communication to stay a couple.
yes,
So many couples forget to keep dating when they're married, and then the kids join, and then the kids become the priority. And it's like, no, the couple has to stay the unit. The
yeah,
kids come and go, right?
yeah,
And um like it's just interesting speaking with human design. Um there is a projector and they're what they're called in human design the grid holder, right?
yeah.
So even when they're doing nothing, they're doing a lot. I happened to be talking to a projector yesterday. I said, "You have to sit on your couch." Oh, I have no time for that. And I said, "You're hanging around too many manifesting generators."
Mm,
No, I said, "I know you are." Like, you don't have to
yeah,
tell me. I know you are. Why? I said, "Because you're trying to fit in 100 things into a 40-day."
yeah,
I said, "Make your choice or your body will make the choice for you."
yeah,
And that's the biggest thing with all these charts and readings and whatever. It's aligning to the three hearts, like the three brains in your body, like your gut, your heart, and your brain. When one of them is not aligned, that's your heart attack, that's your disease, that's your broken leg.
yeah.
When you and this is what I've noticed the most when we switch to the Aquarian age, there's no push through till it's done.
Hmm.
When you're done, you stop.
Yeah, yeah. It's all
Right.
about being in tune because your body's never trying to hurt you, ever. Like it's trying to communicate with you. And if you don't listen the first time to
Mm-hmm.
the minor stuff, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until you do stop. Like say you're, taking on too much, or let's break your leg, put you in a coma,
Yeah.
like let's
But
get you where you can't do that anymore. And it gets progressively more because again, your body's not trying to hurt you. It's never trying to hurt you. It's
mm-hmm.
trying to signal to you that something's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Something's not in alignment, something's too much for you, whatever it is, or that you're poisoning yourself with, your favorite food or whatever. Like, but it's trying to tell you something, and people don't listen because they're again not taught that now. Like, and they
Well,
just are told, well, have this pill or whatever instead. And it's like, well, before you take that pill, where is this coming from? What's the root cause of this? And maybe you just go heal that rather than just popping a pill every 2 seconds because it's never going to go away, just like the shoulders, unless
mm-hmm.
you unless you tune into what that problem truly is.
Well, and it's also too of the fact of um, the word burnout isn't part of the new
Mm,
vocabulary.
yeah,
If you're going into burnout, you're transitioning off the earth.
yeah,
That's just what I'm seeing. It's like the warning signs of the broken leg used to come because you're going to burnout, like it's gonna put you down, and now it's just like, no, you're done, and
yeah,
bye bye, like you're gone.
yeah,
And I'm like, this is a huge wake up call,
yeah.
you know, and it's all. We also have to be more gentle for ourselves.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a huge piece. Like the self-love, the self-worthiness, the self-worth
Mhm.
is yeah, paramount to all of this. Like if you that whole sort of like if you can't give them an empty cup, right? Like you need to fill up your own cup before you can go ahead and help others. And again, we were saying like Age of Aquarius is love and helping others and that community aspect rather than the me and I and
Mhm.
my safety and my security and all this kind of stuff. It's now the collective. But that needs to come from somewhere, and that energy can only come from when you have done the work for yourself, when you have gone through your healing, when you have tuned into your own body and your own alignment, and
Mhm.
you make your decisions through whatever guidance system you have, whether that's your
Mhm.
gut or your brain or your heart or whatever. Something in you is your guidance system, and that's what you follow. And people need to tune into that. They need to rediscover themselves and understand who they are, and to love themselves, and not in like a vain way, but like literally truly accept and enjoy being alone with themselves, as
Mhm.
well as because when we don't when we don't have respect for ourselves, or they have some issue with ourselves, well, guess what, the people around you are your mirrors, and they're going to come in and they're going to amplify that for you. But if you can take time and do that work, and you say, I accept myself and I love myself and whatever it is, for all of those people, the toxic people, they don't want to come near you because you're shining too bright now. Now you're getting the people that truly love you for who you are and like appreciate you and help you because they want to help you. There's no ulterior motive. And so it's energy attracting energy. And then also you're able to help give back because you're now full. You're now able to help others because you have helped yourself.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
and I just saw this metaphor, which is hilarious, because when you think of homes, like especially the palatial homes, they have a
Mhm.
huge mirror in the master bathroom. That mirror is for you to look at yourself and say, "I love you."
Yes.
And if you can do it without the towel, even better, right? Like,
Yes.
and it's really funny because I was thinking the other day as I'm brushing my teeth, I'm like, "I love you," as I brush my
Yeah.
teeth, and I'm like, "Who are you being today?" Right? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Who are we gonna be today?
Yeah.
And it's just
And
having that dialogue with self and getting in touch with that inner knowing of like, yeah, yesterday wasn't such a good day. Some of those shadows came out. But today, who
yeah,
do we want to be?
yeah, absolutely. Because yeah, I'm always telling clients like because most bathrooms have the mirror, right? And it's somewhere that you go quite a lot every
I know,
day,
but is it a little
right?
mirror
Even if it's just to brush your teeth.
or a
Yeah,
big
but
mirror?
I know. But even if they've got a little one, I'm like, look at yourself in the eye. Don't just sort of like,
Mm-hmm.
like this. Look in your eyes and tell yourself these things. And it doesn't matter if you don't believe it right now. Just say it and keep saying it. And it might make you laugh. It's definitely going to make you smile
Mm-hmm.
because you feel embarrassed or whatever. But after a while, it becomes ingrained in your cells because you keep continuously telling yourself that you're
Mm-hmm.
worthy or that you love yourself or, you know, you have a beautiful smile today or your hair looks great today or whatever it is. Just mess about with it. Make yourself laugh because the body doesn't understand
Right.
that you're poking fun because it's laughing. So the cells are reacting positively. And then that actually makes you look more beautiful, your hair look better or whatever, or you just feeling more confident. And other people are going to notice that too because you're going to radiate that energy. And after a while, it doesn't feel silly anymore, and then you can get into that habit every day, even if it's just once a day when you're brushing your teeth, like you said, like once a day, one time that you're brushing your teeth that day, just do this.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and the just the shift in your reality, your mentality and your reality is just going to completely shift for you. And it's amazing. And I've seen this countless times with my clients and they think, oh, I'm not going to do that. But the ones that actually did end up trying it, I'm like, you tried the
They
mirror
start
thing, right? And they're like, I
radiating.
did.
They start
Yeah,
radiating, and it's like,
they do.
well, and even the older generation, how many would just put makeup on with a little handheld mirror,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
one eye at a time. I'm like, use a big
Yeah.
mirror. No,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah. You have to see all
beautiful
of you.
people. Like, he's
Hmm.
like, oi. But that's what
Yeah.
we're here for, right? Is to help
Yeah.
shine the light for everybody so they can be their authentic self and truly know who they are,
Yeah.
you know? And like if that's all we get across in this show is truly opening people up to their authentic self. And
Yeah.
it's time.
Yeah. And unapologetically as well. Like you never need to apologize for yourself,
Hmm.
right? For the way that you look or the way that you think about things. Like that is you, and you need to embrace that. The weird and the wonderful as well as the societal norms. Like just embrace all of that, and then you can then be authentic in front of other people, and that's a gift as well. When you're around people where don't need to put on any kind of show anymore. You can just literally say and do and be exactly who you are, and there's other people around they love you for that, right? And that's a great gift.
Well, and it's
Wonderful.
also if you're coming into a room authentically you, you are gracing them to be their authentic self in your
Yes.
presence.
Yeah.
Even if they don't know to do that, they will automatically be that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that ripple effect.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Energy is fantastic because you don't need to be aware of it. It just is. And so it changes
Hmm.
anybody and everything around you as you're going. So if you're in a good mood and then someone walks past in a bad mood, you can pick up on that energy, right? But if you can be like, you can go in and just radiate that light and that happiness and that authenticity, then guess what?
Hmm.
Like, yeah, the room that you're in is lighting up. The people are gonna, and it's just like the simple things like smiling at somebody,
Hmm.
right? They're gonna think, oh, what a weirdo, but guess what? They're smiling too now.
Well,
And so the next person they see is gonna smile too. Like, it's just that infectiousness.
and I
Yeah.
have a perfect example of this. Like I ran in to get a few groceries one day, and I'm telling you, the girl at the till was not in a good mood. So I ignored it. I was in a good mood. and and so I said, "Hi, how are you?" And she was fine. By the end of it, I didn't buy that many groceries. By the end of it, she goes, "Thank you for being the best customer."
Right?
And I said, "You're welcome. Have an awesome rest of the day."
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
doesn't
like I was her
take
last
much.
customer. Like, she had morning shifts. She had to go home to get whatever. And we just had a little 5-minute conversation.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Like, so you hear of these stories of after the fact, like, well, they just gave me a hand up and I didn't take my life that day,
Oh,
right? And you just
yeah.
don't know where people are, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
They're so lonely, so isolated, and you just come in and your sparkly self. And
Yeah.
I've noticed that working with the compassion care, the elderly, because they're
Hmm.
stuck. They're in those homes, they're in their wheelchairs, they can't do anything without somebody taking them. And
Yeah.
you just come in, you're glowing sunshine, hello, and everyone starts smiling. I go, awesome.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
like we forget, right? That they were people too, and
yeah,
had a life, and they have stories.
yeah,
I just ask them their stories and watch how they change. Like even like dementia patients and stuff. You're like, tell me about your childhood, and suddenly
yeah. Well,
this different
and
person
that
is
was
in
the
front of
other
you.
thing with this client that I took full time was that I said, okay, well, I don't know when I'll see you. Why? I said, well, I don't know. You're not my schedule, but I like you. And I said, do you not like your other ones? Not really. And I said, okay, we'll see what we can do. We'll come back. I go, okay. But I didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully she won't say in a couple months, I don't like you anymore. I want a new one.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'd
not
be
what you
like,
said to
all
me a
right.
few months back.
Yeah. I said, what? What happened? You used to like me in my little box.
Right. Yeah.
So, okay. So I'll have all the stuff in the show notes, but what do you want people, as we wrap up, to understand about you, understand how you can help them?
I my whole thing is meeting people where they're at. It takes a lot to shock me, so people can literally open up as much or as little as they want to and feel comfortable to do. And I just run with whatever you give me. So, and from there, I get out my little toolbox, whether that be Akashic Records or whatever, and we then explore how to get you back on track. And you don't need to even have a clue what it is. You can just say, I'm lost or I just need some general help. And we can just pinpoint it even just in the first session. So, yeah, my whole thing is just to help people on their path forward and help empower them and help get them to a place where they can take ownership of themselves and light themselves up and learn their own lessons and where Akashic Records is I actually encourage even after the first session for them to actually do it themselves afterwards. So you don't need somebody like me necessarily. You can if that's what you prefer. But I encourage them to at least explore by themselves as well because now they can and they have that tool for themselves now, right? They can actually
Hmm.
go in anytime that they want to and go and get the answers for themselves if they so choose. So yeah, I love to see the change in people, and I love to be able to help them in whatever way that they need at that moment for me to get them on that right footing. Yeah.
Well, I can second that because she gave me some great insight into the astrology. So,
Yay.
um, yeah, I don't study anything really, but I know a lot about a lot. And I was just like, I didn't see that trine or
Mm.
right? Like it's like, yeah, so yeah, so I second that. So once again, transition clarity, this is another awesome conversation podcast with Becca Shaw today. And if you want to know more about transition clarity in the men's circles or just in general, we'd love to have a conversation. So everything will be in the show notes. Until next time, have a great day. Just a little longer recap about Becca Shaw. Um, just a gentle soul and truly just wants to help you get on your path, um, find your inner gifts through the different readings that she can do through human design or the astrology or tapping into the Akashic records of, what could be hindering or a shadow from a different time, a different place. But all in all, they're all coming together as one. And I think that's what we're all striving for is to find that path that we are meant to be on, to shine our gifts, to follow that inner knowing, to be the best we can be for this time on this earth. If you want to know more about transition clarity, our transformational men's groups, um, we also work with women. We are all about giving you clarity in who you truly are through your inner gifts so you can shine your light on the world. Thanks again for tuning in. Please subscribe, like, and share with your friends. If you have any questions, connect with me. It's all in the show notes. Adele Bernard, this has been another Authentic Conversation podcast.